giving that wave. We've got Kelly Grandsteed on here as well. She's one of the assistant directors of student welfare and success. And we have Denise Peters here, who's doing our translation services. My name's Donna Leone. I'm one of the directors of student welfare and success, and we're glad to have you here. This is a very important topic, so we would love for you to collaborate alongside with us and ask any questions or give us any feedback that you have or any comments that you want to make. The one thing that we ask is that you not identify your child in any way by using any first names or last names or any identifiable information. If at any time during the presentation or at the end of presentation, you would like to follow up with one of our school social workers, they'll give you that information at the end and provide you that opportunity. And we can support your students at the site level. So we appreciate you spending the evening with us. And with that, we're going to be recording this because we have a lot of people that sign up and then for one reason or another are unable to then be here in the evening. So we always record these so that we can have these pushed out later on. And again, we will probably also be able to provide you with a copy of the PowerPoint. So with that, Jessica and Tina, it's all yours.
All right.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Like Donna said, we'll be talking about bullying and how to identify it. And Tina's going to go over what we're going to go over.
Okay. So today you will learn about what bullying is, the definition and the types of bullying, what bullying looks like at schools, how the school can help, signs of being bullied and how to identify it, and 10 actions parents can take to eliminate bullying.
All right. As Ms. Donna said, we are school social workers. I am the social worker at Temecula Middle School.
And I'm the social worker at Alamos Elementary and Vintage Hills Elementary.
And we would love to get a pulse of who's here with us today. If you're comfortable, please type into the chat what grade level you're representing. So if you have students in high school or middle school, elementary, let us know where you're at. And if anything that you want to take from today's session, just type that into something you want to learn, some more information that you're looking to get. All right, middle school. I love the representation. Okay.
I can't see the chat. So
but feel free to add anything into the chat if something comes up. But then we'll go on from there.
okay. So next, we want to see how much you know about bullying. So I'll read a question. So number one, and then you can just type in the chat if you think it's true or false. So the first one, bullying is done by a person or group who is more powerful in some way than the other person or group. So type in the chat, true or false.
All right, Diana. First one to respond. Yes, that is true. There is a power dynamic that plays a part into bullying.
Number two, bullying is done on purpose. Is that true or false?
Yes, we're done. Bullying is done on purpose. Thank you.
Okay. Number three, even if something only happens one time, it is still considered bullying. Is that true or false?
This is where it gets a little tricky.
Mm-hmm.
It can be true if it is a big incident. We tend to look for a pattern though of repeated incidents. So it depends situation on situation. So it can be true or false.
Okay. Number five, physical bullying is the only type of bullying. Is that true or false?
Oh, wow. You guys want to give this presentations? You guys are killing it. Yes, it is false. There are many different types of bullying.
Okay, number 6, bullying should be taken seriously by everyone involved. True or false?
Yes, it's true. And people involved are the students that are participating, the victims, the people that are standing around, the adults in the situation at school or at home.
Good job. Number 7, bullying only affects those who are getting bullied. Is that true or false?
Yes, it impacts those that hear it, that see it, and that are involved in it.
You guys are really good at this. Number 8, the best way to stand up to a bully is to bully back. True or false?
All right, if you guys answered false, what's the best way to respond?
Ooh, putting them on the spot.
Yeah, if you guys know. If not, if you don't know, we're gonna find out today. Oh, that's the beauty of this presentation.
Oh, sorry. Number 9. If someone sees bullying happening, they should join in so they don't become the next target. Is that true or false?
But it seems like something to do, right? It might seem the natural reaction as a protective defense, but it is false.
And last, we shouldn't talk about bullying. It will go away if we act like it doesn't exist. True or false?
Yes. And that is why we are having this conversation today. And like those who just joined us, I just want to repeat what Donna had said earlier. We would love to have that conversation and talk to you if your child or someone you know is experiencing it, but we ask that you don't use any identifiers or names, and you can reach out to us personally and we'll have that conversation.
Oh, sorry.
No worries.
Thank you for
now
giving me a
we're going to talk about what bullying looks like today. 1 out of every 5 students, around 20%, report being bullied. A higher percentage of male than female students reported being physically bullied, whereas females are experiencing more rumors and being excluded on activities on purpose. 41% of the students who are being bullied at school indicate that they think it will happen again. So it's not just a one-time thing, that pattern behavior that we talked about earlier. Of those students who reported being bullied, 13 were made fun of, called names, or insulted. 13% were subjects of rumors. 5% were pushed, shoved, tripped, or spit on. And 5% were excluded from activities on purpose. Females report higher rates of being bullied than their males. Bullied students report that bullying occurs most likely in the hallway, stairwell, at school, or in the classroom itself. Other big areas where bullying occurs are the cafeteria or outside school grounds. And the next level of bullying happens by text or online, that cyberbullying aspect of things. And lastly, the locker room or bathroom is another hot area, but not as big as those ones I said previously. 46% of bullied students report notifying an adult at school about the incident. So that's only 46%. There's the other 54, if I did my math right, which I'm not sure because I did it off the top of my head, that aren't reporting it, that are experiencing it, but not letting an adult on campus know. The good thing is if the schools have a bully-based prevention program in place, it decreases bullying by 25%. Reasons that students are being bullied most often include that they're being bullied about their physical appearance, their race, ethnicity, their gender, disability, religion, or sexual orientation. A little bit about cyberbullying. Like I said, 15% of students said that they were being bullied online. Reports of cyberbullying are highest among middle school students. So a lot of the parents and adults and guardians that are here today, middle school has the highest rate of cyberbullying, which is followed by high school and then elementary students. Not to say that they're not experiencing it, but not as high of rate as middle school. The percentage of individuals who experience cyberbullying at some point in a lifetime has doubled. So it's a lot different than when we were in school and back in our day. It's doubled since 2007. When students were asked about specific types of cyberbullying they had experienced, 25% said that they had mean and hurtful comments made about them. 20% said that they had rumors spread online. And that was the most commonly cited ways that they were being cyberbullied. Cyberbullying differs by the gender. Girls tend to say people spread rumors about them, while boys most likely say that they were threatened online. Students with disabilities, students with specific learning disabilities like autism, emotional behavior disorders, and other health impairments such as speech or language experience higher rates of victimization of being bullied than their counterparts. When assessing specific disabilities, 35% of the behavior and emotional disorders were experiencing bullying, 33% were autistic, and 24% were intellectual disabilities. Researchers discovered that students with disabilities were worried about their school safety and being injured or harassed by their peers compared to their counterparts. Excuse me. Students of color, 23% of African Americans, 23% of Caucasian students, and 16% of Hispanic students, as well as 7% of Asian students reported being bullied at school. Race-related bullying is significantly associated with negative emotional and physical health effects. Students of the LGBT community, excuse me, 70% of the LGBTQ plus students were verbally bullied, and it was because of their sexual orientation, their gender expression, or based on their gender. 30% were physically bullied for the same reasons. 48.7% of LGBTQ plus students experienced cyberbullying in 2019. We don't have the numbers just yet of what happened over the pandemic, and I'm really curious as to how that impacted the cyberbullying. But if the student is part of the LGBTQ plus community, 34% of them missed one day of school in a month, where 10% missed 4 more days because of the bullying and harassment happening. Compared to LGBTQ students with no supportive school staff, students with supportive school staff were less likely to miss school because they felt unsafe and had a greater belonging to school. So having that connected and trusted adult on campus makes a huge difference. So that's just a little bit of a summary of what the numbers look like in 2019. We don't have those 2020 numbers just yet, but I think the online is going to be very impacted. So we'll see, and when that information comes out, we'd be glad to share it with you. But I'm going to hand it over to Tina so she can define what bullying actually is.
Okay, so there are 4 different types of bullying. And so what is bullying? Bullying is when an individual or a group of people with more power repeatedly and intentionally cause hurt or harm to another person or group of people who feel helpless to respond. Bullying can continue over time, is often hidden from adults, and will probably continue if no action is taken. So the first type is physical. Physical bullying is categorized under the umbrella of direct bullying. It occurs when someone exerts pain or damage on another individual's body or property. Physical bullying includes the following: pushing, hitting, kicking, pinching, spitting, biting, or slapping. And then there's verbal. So verbal bullying focuses on demeaning and belittling another student. And this type consists of teasing, taunting, name calling, threatening, threats, and sexual harassment. Then there's social bullying. Social bullying is also known as covert bullying and is characterized under indirect or relational bullying, and is defined as making an individual feel alienated or left out. Social bullying occurs when a person or group purposefully leaves someone out, or when one student tells another student not to be friends with someone, a student spreads rumors or someone about someone behind their back, a student humiliates another student in public, or a student isolates another student from his or her peers. And then the last one is cyberbullying. With the drastic increase in technology advances, like we've been seeing over the past decade, cyberbullying has rapidly become a more serious issue. Cyberbullying is considered indirect bullying and is done through such mediums as computers, cell phones, and any other electronic device that can be used to communicate with others. So this can consist of text messages, emails, phone calls, voicemails, and then like social media such as Facebook, Twitter, blogs, and chat rooms. So I know that was a lot of information. Any questions before we continue moving on? Comments?
Well, we're going to test you right now. We are going to ask, I'm going to give you a situation and ask that you type if it is a social, verbal, physical, or cyber type of bullying. So go ahead and type into the chat, what is spreading rumors? What type of bullying is that? Don't everyone answer at once. Yeah. Spreading rumors is actually social. It is playing a part on their social status and group. It can be verbally done where they spread rumors, or it can be done online, but that is to impact their social standing. Oh, we learned something today. What about throwing a stone at someone? What type of bullying is that? Excuse me. Yes, physical. All right, just gonna give you a couple more. What about calling someone ugly? What type of bullying is calling someone ugly? All right, we're seeing who paid attention. I love it. Yes, you guys got it. What about tripping someone in the hallway? Yep. Telling someone they're not cool enough to play with you or hang out with you. That's social. It's social. Because they are excluding you from something on purpose. What about sharing someone's TikTok and making fun of their TikTok videos? Yeah, I've seen a lot of that. Yeah. Social cyber, yep. All right, you guys did great. You're kind of getting the feel for what type of bullying those incidents might be. There is some overlap in it. But yeah, thank you for participating in that.
And now we're going to talk about school bullying and how the school can help. So bullying is also one or more acts by a pupil or group, which we kind of talked about. And it's against another pupil. It can constitute as sexual harassment, hate, violence, or severe intentional harassment. So those are some of the stuff. And then what can Temecula Valley Unified District do? So we have PBIS, which stands for Positive Behavior Intervention Supports. And it's a 3-tiered system. So the first tier 1 is school-wide, and it has universal expectations and standards to which all students are held accountable to and is a preventative measure. This prevention measure is a way to teach the students the expectations of their behavior towards others and the expected behaviors in the classroom and the school site. And it's universal through the whole, like every site pretty much. Tier 2 is an intervention step where staff such as the social workers, school counselors, Tier 2 behavior assistants, which are at the elementary level, and LCAP counselors, which are at the middle and high school that help the social workers, provide even more support to 10 to 20% of the student population through group sessions and other intervention tactics such as behavior contracts and check-in, check-outs. Almost all elementary schools have a program intervention admin, and middle schools have LCAP counselors, and the high schools have licensed clinical social workers. Through low-level referrals, teachers and other staff members are collecting data to mark the trends and to see what students might need more assistance and how to help those students. This is a great way to recognize if a student is showing a need for further intervention and support. And then there's Tier 3, which is the most intensive intervention, the top 5% or so of students. This is the evidence-based model that we use at our district or at the school district. Students are taught different coping skills to handle big emotions through evidence-based programs such as zones of regulation. This is something that the social workers at your student sites can provide more information on, as they are the Tier 2 interventionists. And teachers, administrators, and other student support staff, such as the social workers and behavior assistants that are at the elementary level, work together to review student behaviors and data in order to provide the best support for the students in their classroom and staff. And then, let's see what else. So then we also have, it's called Let's Talk, which is a way that you can communicate with your school site, with the admin, with the social workers, and you can reach out to report any bullying, and that's how we would get contacted. Or you can reach out to your admin or the school social worker at your site or a school counselor to get the support that you might need. Did I leave anything out? Is that pretty much?
Looks good to me. So we got the idea of what's happening today, what bullying is. Now let's look at how we can identify if our child's experiencing it or bullying others. So there are many warning signs that may indicate that someone's being affected by bullying, either being bullied or bullying others. Recognizing the warning signs is the most important first step in taking action against bullying. Not all children who are bullied or bullying others ask for help. It is important to talk with your children who show signs of being bullying or bullying others. These warning signs can also point to other issues or problems such as depression or substance use. Talking to the children can help identify the root of the problem. So those that are at risk, an understanding of the human mind provides an in-depth information about the mindset of bullying, as well as the types of victims that they usually prey on. A bully wants to focus on those who pose little to no threat. Remember that inside every bully is insecure and a blow to their confidence if someone were to talk back or speak up or act out, and it makes a huge negative impact on them. So therefore, these bullies are actually quite selective in when it comes to finding other children to pick on, or it might be an opportunity. They're opportunistic, and if they see a chance, they might jump on it. So those at the greatest risk of falling prey to bullying are those students who excel in academics, are smaller of stature, and do not have a lot of friends or only a couple around them. So these are the children that are not very forthcoming about their problems and do not prefer sharing with others. More importantly, these children suffer from a lack of confidence, which makes them a perfect target because they don't fuss, share, and they have low self-esteem. So it's a perfect combination for a bully to get away and get something that they want from them. That being said, these are not the only students that are targets for bullies. All students can fall prey, but this is the most noted type of victim. That's according to R.J. Parker, the author of Beyond Sticks and Stones, Bullying, Cyberbullying, and Abuse. It's a great little fast read if you're ever interested in it. So some signs to look out for. There are several noted signs that point to a child falling victim to bullying. So looking for changes in a child. However, be aware that not all children who are experiencing it will exhibit signs. So some of the signs to look out for are unexplained injuries, lost or destroyed clothing, books, electronics, or jewelry, frequent headaches or stomach aches, feeling sick or faking illness. This is actually a psychosomatic symptom of anxiety if they believe that they're going to see or be close to the bully. They might have changes in their eating habits, like suddenly skipping meals or binge eating. Kids may come home from school hungry because they did not eat lunch. They might have difficulty sleeping or frequent nightmares. Declining grades, loss of interest in schoolwork, or not wanting to go to school. That's a change though. So if they're not really interested in it to begin with, then, that's not really a sign. But if there's a change, that's what needs to be noted. They might also have a sudden loss of friends or avoidance of social situations, feelings of helplessness or decreased self-esteem, and self-destructive behaviors such as running away from home, harming themselves, or talking about suicide. These are just a few notable differences that a child may exhibit if they're being bullied. The most important thing to do is you note the difference and the change in behavior. So what to look out if you believe your child might be the bully and bullying others. They may be getting into physical or verbal fights more frequently. They have friends around them who are bullies. It's easier to join in when they have someone else already doing it. If they're increasingly getting aggressive, getting sent to the principal's office, or having consequences frequently, having unexplained extra money or new belongings, blaming others for their problems and not taking responsibility, don't accept responsibilities for their actions, and are competitive and worry about their reputation or popularity. These do not necessarily mean a child is bullying others, but again, noting the changes this is what needs to be acknowledged. Now, you may ask, why don't kids ask for help? It shows that, like I said earlier, only 40% or so are reporting bullying incidents. Kids don't tell adults for many reasons, and some of them might be bullying can make a child feel helpless. Kids may want to handle it on their own and to feel in control again. They may fear being seen as weak or as a tattletale. Kids may fear the backlash and retaliation from the kid who is bullying them. Bullying can be a humiliating experience. Kids may not want adults to know what's being said about them, whether it's true or false. And they may also feel that they can fear what the adults might judge them for or punish them. Kids who are bullied may already feel socially isolated. They may feel like no one cares or understand what they're going through. Kids may fear being rejected by their peers. Friends can help protect kids from bullying, and kids can fear losing the support. The biggest thing on how to identify it and see if your child is experiencing is having that open conversation where there's no judgment. It's just a safe space for you to talk to your child and find out what's happening.
And now we will talk about the 10 actions that all parents can take to eliminate bullying. So the first one is talk with and listen to your kids every day. So have a time when they come home and just really talk with your kids about, so how was your day? And instead of just asking yes or no, like, how was your day? Oh, good. Ask, what was the best part of your day? What was the highlight of your day? Or maybe what was the hardest part of your day too, because there might have been something that was hard. So what was one high, one low kind of thing. So the highlight of the day and maybe the hardest part of the day, and really get your kids to talk about what's going on at school. Number 2, spend time at school and recess. So talk with them about how school went, recess went, because I know parents can't really be on campus right now, or I don't know, like when parents would used to get to volunteer and stuff, but just ask them how their time is at school. Be a good example of kindness and leadership. So modeling how you can be kind and how to be a good leader. So have your children say kind things, and when they're hearing stuff that isn't kind, have them say, I don't like that. I don't like it when you say stuff like that. So really helping the students to advocate for themselves as well. Learn the signs, like Jessica just said, the different signs, really looking at those signs and acknowledging that to say like, okay, this isn't normal. What can I do next to help your kids? Create healthy anti-bullying habits early. So really talking with your kids, having kindness, having that open communication, knowing who their friends are, like who they're interacting with, social media, if they're on social media, know what they're doing on social media and who they're talking to. Help your children's school address bullying effectively. So like we said, let's talk. So really communicating with teachers, with social workers, the admin, just if you have a concern, reach out, let us know so that we can really help you with that. Establish household rules about bullying. So really talk with, that's more with the modeling, like what does that look like when you're feeling alienated at school, or maybe you're having a tough time with a friend. So how do you help your kid to resolve conflicts with another friend? Teach your children how to be a good witness and a positive bystander. So also teach your kids, if a friend is dealing with something, how can they, help their friend as well? Maybe they go get help, or they talk about, I don't like that. I don't like when you treat my friend like this. We need to be nicer, or stuff like that. Teach your child about cyberbullying. So really talking more so about what we put on social media, like that's there. That's always going to be there. We can't take it back. So really teaching them what's appropriate and not appropriate, and having that, again, that open communication about cyber stuff, because you may not know what they're on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, all these different, there's like so many, Snapchat, I can't even name them all. And then last, spread the word that bullying should not be a normal part of our childhood. So really speaking up and modeling that we don't want this. We want to have open communication with your students and with the school sites. So, any questions? Now we are going to talk about kids and parents talk about how bullying hurts.
Everybody has hate and love in their heart, and they can pick which one. To make a bully, you usually pick hate. To make a good person, you pick love.
Hi, Camilla.
Hi, Daddy.
What do you know about bullying?
A bully teases. A bully physically hurts people and does other things that aren't really nice.
It could be emotional stuff, like hurting people's feelings.
I think it's mostly like just somebody making other people feel bad about themselves.
Do you know that I was bullied when I was a little girl? When I moved to my new town, I met a girl I thought was my friend, and she was nice to me at first. She came to school one day and said that she was having a birthday party and told the entire class that I was only invited because her mother was making her invite the new girl.
I grew up with the name Kwaku Moody. It wasn't a name like Mike or Tim or Bill or whatever. So I used to get made fun of a lot, and it would make me feel really, really bad about my name. I used to want to change my name.
Can I tell you something? When I was your age, in first grade, I was a bully. How does that make you feel to hear that?
Well, I was going to expect you to say the opposite.
Yeah, I wasn't the nicest kid. I was angry. My dad had just really left my life, and so I unfortunately took it out on other people. It was a really important lesson for me to learn, that I need to treat other people the way that I want to be treated.
And you're doing a very good job of doing that, so.
If you could say something to a bully your age, what would you say?
It's not cool to make people feel sad just because you feel that way.
If you see a bully, you have to stand up to them and say, that was not nice.
But isn't that sometimes scary?
It might be, but you have to be brave. There's no other way around it, unless bullies are going to take over.
Why do you think bullies act the way they do?
Their home lives aren't very supportive. Their parents, they just don't have the opportunity to show the attention and love that this kid needs.
Maybe they don't have any friends. They feel like they need to bully to be anything at all.
Do you think that a bully deserves a little bit of sympathy sometimes?
Definitely. They're not always mean because they just want to be. There usually is a situation behind that.
I'm very proud that both of you are not only able to recognize or be kind to someone who's feeling bullied, but I'm even more proud of you for recognizing that the bully deserves kindness too. I think that makes me, as a mother, I'm really proud of you.
Every single person on this earth is different. But at the end of the day, it's that uniqueness that makes us really special. So it's never a thing to be made fun of.
So what can we do to maybe help a bully find that love that you think is in everyone's heart?
You have to give them someone to love. Remember, you lost someone that you loved. That's partly how you became a bully. And then your teacher respected you, and that was kind of love. So I think everybody needs someone to love or something to love. I think that's what it goes back to.
You're making me cry because of how much I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.
Hello, Today fans. Thank
What did you guys think of that? Any thoughts or feelings or something that you want to express that popped into your mind after seeing that? Feel free to unmute or type it into the chat. Right? Yeah. I think sometimes we forget that our kids only see us as adults and that they didn't know that we had a childhood and we had our own experiences. So opening up and having that conversation, it's a good way to connect and to let them know that you can practice some empathy and you understand. Yeah, very heartwarming. Yeah,
It's a really good video.
makes me cry. Oh, they're so cute. Okay.
There we go.
So it's just to remember, model positive behavior throughout your day by treating others with respect, empathy, and intervening when you see bullying behavior. That's the biggest message that we can push out. Speaking up when they see something, treating others with kindness and respect, understanding what someone else might be going through, and practicing empathy. And if your kids, your children, they see you going through that and they see you modeling that behavior, they're more likely to follow suit. Kids can be parrots and they repeat what they see and what they hear. And wouldn't that be great if they can start repeating the positivity. Positiveness. Okay.
I agree.
So these are just some resources that we use throughout our presentation to get this information. The slides are available on the SMORE that was sent out. So if you want to go through it and see some of the information that we had. Also on the slides is the family newsletter. So you can check that out. And we're going to have some time and space to have a conversation. But again, we ask that if you would like to talk, not to disclose your child's information by first name, last name, any identifiers. But if you want to get a more personal level, you can reach out to your school site and ask to speak to the social worker counselor there. And they can really help speak to what's going on and what they can do to provide interventions and supports. But this is a time and space if you want to open up and talk, have some questions, we'll stay on.
It's a quiet bunch.
Yeah. This is my interview for the Grammys. Just to let you know. So normally I'm talking to kids all day, so I'd love some interactions with adults if you want, if you have anything. If not, that's all we got. I'll put my email into the chat. So if you want to follow up and have some more conversations or you need some more information, I'd be happy to oblige and share. Also, just reach out to your school site. They're going to be the best resource of information.
Yeah, I can't put mine. So if you want to put mine as well, you can. Sure.
Will you be sending a link out for the recording?
I will add it to the family newsletter. Thank you so much for asking. So it'll be on the bullying newsletter that was sent out. Yes.
We encourage you to look at the newsletter. There's a lot of great information there, and there's a lot of things that are being put on by Riverside County. So we'd like you to take a look at those. And again, I know it's really hard on these family universities maybe to kind of get a collaborative discussion, but please reach out to your counselors and your social workers at your sites if you have any concerns about your student at all and bullying. So that's what we're here for. And these ladies do an outstanding job at their school supporting students. So, you know, if we don't know what's going on, we can't help. So please take to heart that we are here to support. Ms. Gradstein, did you want to add anything as a closing?
No, I just wanted to echo the thoughts of, and sentiments of please reach out. The more we know, the more we can support. The worst thing is when we hear about something that's been happening and it's been going on for a long time and kids are upset and we haven't had that opportunity to do something. So see something, say something, and a great big shout out to our team for being here tonight. So once again, to Jessica, Tina, and Suzanne, and Denise, thank you for coming and being a part of this tonight and providing this information. We really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our guests. We're so happy to have had you.
Have a great evening.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.